Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler alongside meteorologist Jessica Blum in the 1011 Now streaming studio. But it's not just us. We are joined by fellow Gray Television meteorologist Jarrett Lansford from WOWT in Omaha. We have Travis Klanecky from KSNB in Hastings, and excited to bring in Owen Basselman from KTIV in Sioux City. Everyone, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. So, again, this is kind of our Nebraska weather roundtable that we get to do. We're basically, obviously on a regular show, we get 2, 3, 4 minutes to kind of talk about what the weather is going to be. But here we kind of have an open-ended floor to kind of talk about whatever we want. And there's kind of a lot in the weather headlines for Nebraska and in the region as we head over the next couple days. We have fog now. We have a nice weekend ahead of us. We have sudden stratospheric warming, the polar vortex, Thanksgiving, holiday travel, all sorts of things going on.
Is that 10, 11 things you said?
Jared's counting for us, yeah. Just about the whole kitchen sink here. Why not?
It does. Owen, you're kind of the new guy here. We just we did a roundtable like this with our sister stations WOWT and KSNB a couple weeks ago, but excited to have KTIV in the mix. How are things going for you up in Siouxland?
Hey, it's going pretty good. Like you mentioned, one of your list of 10, 11 things. We have some fog here this morning. About the entire area here is dealing with some dense fog this morning. When I was coming into work, though, I will say it was starting to lift here, so hopefully not too much longer with the dreary morning.
I was going to say yesterday when we were putting together the forecast for today, I don't know about what you guys saw. A lot of the models, the in-house ICAST, everything kind of had upper 50s, low 60s, and I was like, we've been burned by clouds and fog the last couple days. I don't know how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen today. Although little sun's starting to come out up north now, north central Nebraska. I don't know how much of this cloud cover is going to continue to break up. It looks like maybe you'll get a little clearing up there in northeast Nebraska as well eventually. But I'm looking at this, and you can bring it up here if you want to on that visible satellite imagery. This cloud deck, it's been rushing south. We had sunshine at sunrise this morning for about an hour here in the Tri-Cities area and North Platte, and then all of a sudden the clouds just rolled in. First it got really, really foggy, and now it's just a deck of clouds with some slightly lighter fog. But you can see this is all just behind that cold front. There's a cold front that's supposed to cool us back just a little bit, but it may be a struggle today. And then you have all the upper level clouds down south. That's all in advance of our rain chance coming tonight and tomorrow here at least for southern Nebraska and northern Kansas.
Yeah, say that I didn't even add that on our list of 10, 11, 12 things to kind of talk about.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
The rain Friday, rain Monday with some nice weather in between.
It is. And so I guess, we can kind of start with it's going to be cloudy and kind of foggy and cool today. So kind of typical mid to late November weather for us. But I guess the rain chance, what are you guys thinking for the rain chance tomorrow? Because I know the HER is really jumping on the rain, and it's got quite a bit of rain. I know some other models, a lot of models really don't have much in southern Nebraska.
I'm thinking we kind of see it.
And I know that this is kind of, up in Sioux City, you probably don't have to worry about this much. And I know Omaha's kind of on the very edge of it. But, we're kind of looking at pretty low amounts more than likely for the Tri-Cities area. North Platte, kind of the same thing. We're right on that very edge of maybe, a tenth of an inch or maybe a little more. But as you go down into far southern Nebraska, southwest Nebraska especially, and then even crossing over to Kansas, we could be looking at a half inch of rain, maybe more down around McCook, Nebraska too. So some places are going to get a decent rain, and then other places will probably completely miss out and just see some clouds.
Yeah, Jarrett, you were saying something there. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I think that it's just where this is positioned. We kind of get a little bit of all of it in our area, and I've got the graphic ready to go here if you want to take it.
Yeah.
With the rainfall potential that we're looking at in our area, you can kind of see we maybe get some sprinkles up around the metro, but the further south you get, the more it looks like they're going to be getting a steady rain for a good portion of the day right around Falls City, down around the Kansas border. So it's going to be one of those where we kind of have to talk about just how much things are going to vary through the area for Friday, and kind of makes for a little bit of a mixed bag.
I would love a show of hands. I think that's one of my least favorite types of forecasts, where it's like, hey, there's going to be a line that's going to be like maybe one half of the county, the northern half of the county is going to get a hundredth of an inch, and then the other half of the county, I think you're maybe looking at, half an inch or more.
I was going to say, good thing this isn't snow. Can you imagine the range in snow totals that we get off the bat? No, thank you. No, thank you.
Hey, not yet.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the forecast for today's system last weekend, it had practically a complete washout up in portions of northeast Nebraska all day, like Friday, starting Thursday night, continuing during that 24-hour stretch. And then from the 0Z run to the 12Z run on Sunday, dropped it all the way down towards Omaha, if not even farther south of there. So just like that, forecast changed from an inch of rain, I don't know, to nothing in 12 hours.
So
That's why you always have to take those long-range models with the big old fat grain of salt.
Exactly.
Even looking long range right now, we're seeing about everything, and it's just changing every single day, it seems like. So even though there might be some snow down the road, later next week or the following week, it's just too early to say for sure.
Right.
Got to love that 10-day forecast, right, Jared?
I love a couple of the days of the 10-day forecast, right?
Yeah.
It works out really well to where if you've got weekend plans, take advantage, because our weekend forecast is just looking fantastic. Once you get past that rain, Saturday, Sunday, we're way above average. We got some sunshine, which I know a lot of people are going to be appreciating after this foggy, cloudy stretch. And so you're trying to get out, maybe you've been waiting to get the Christmas lights up. There you go. You got a couple days right there where it's perfect before it gets maybe a little chilly for it.
And I feel like from what I've seen this week, I feel like models have really been flip-flopping a lot. I think on Tuesday I didn't put a rain chance on Monday, and now it's at 60%. I think is what meteorologist Brandon Rector had this morning.
Yeah, this Monday system's really kind of ramped up a little bit again. Yeah. So another reason to enjoy the Saturday, Sunday before we get that rain moving in.
And I'll bring it up because I'll bring it up because Travis kind of brought it up there. But I feel like this last week, even 10 days, has just been horrible on social media with all of the maps.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's just a combination. Yes, combination of just the pattern and the holiday all converging at one time. But it has been awful. I can't tell, especially people just posting not even like an ensemble forecast, but just like one run of, the big temperature anomaly or whatever it might be.
The armchair meteorologists back home.
There you go. The social meteorologists. Yeah.
And so
it's just how it is. Like you said, it's kind of a perfect storm of the first winter blast, I'll call it, of the season, lining up with the Thanksgiving holiday. I know a couple of weeks ago we had a couple of days of winter maybe, but now maybe setting in for good. Once this pattern changes around Thanksgiving, we get the colder air, maybe it doesn't go away. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's kind of a perfect storm.
And it's like, I'll sympathize with you if you post the ensemble at least, because the ensemble's an average, and I can whatever. But they'll post a model run, a deterministic model run that's showing 40 degrees below normal temperatures, or whatever. Just a big pink blob right over the middle of the country, and that just makes it even worse. And if you'll notice, the post always starts out with, "I don't normally post maps like these." But here it is.
To that, and it's not true.
One thing I have
take
noticed,
this with a grain of salt, but I'm going to post it anyways.
Yeah.
It's not a forecast.
One thing I have noticed with these long-range models for about the last week or two now is that they seem pretty extreme when you're going 10 days out, 9 days out, with the cold or the precipitation. But it seems like as we're getting closer, it's kind of coming back to the norm a little bit, where the extreme's not so extreme. This week was supposed to be colder a week ago, and now it's And yeah, it's been cooler because of the clouds, but we actually haven't been terrible in most spots. Next week, I've noticed that the trends are starting to come up just a little bit with the temperatures, keeping that colder air more up into the Dakotas, Minnesota, a little farther north.
And even the below, for the last week, I feel like we've been a solid 5 to 15 degrees above average. And so you get to that Thanksgiving holiday, and it's 5 to 15 degrees below average. I think a lot of people forget by the time you get to the end of end of November, our average highs are in the mid to upper 40s.
Yeah.
So that brings
we're already
me
seeing that change.
Yeah, and it brings me to the next topic to kind of talk about it, and that's the whole sudden stratospheric warming. I'm going to phrase this carefully. Maybe national media likes to grab a hold of those buzzwords in the weather world, polar vortex, sudden stratospheric warming, to make it sound like the end of the world is coming. But it's not.
This has happened before, plenty of times.
Yeah. Owen, what are your thoughts on the SSW?
So scary, right? No, not yet. It shouldn't be scary. It's kind of back to what I was talking about earlier. It's just the first big cold snap of the season, maybe. It's going to get much colder December, January, February. Once we get into the heart of winter, it's just like, maybe a really big cool down to kick off the Thanksgiving holiday, and as meteorological winter coming up on December 1st too, so we are finally starting to kickstart into the winter season. But yeah, it gets more hype than I think it deserves, especially this early in the season when, like you said, talking 5 to 15 degrees below average, which is highs in the 30s. Nothing we're not used to.
And I'll give credit. I feel like, again, most of us probably know who Brad Panovich is, the meteorologist in Charlotte, North Carolina. He had a really great post about this the other day on his social medias, where basically it's like, hey, is it a little early in the season for this? Yeah. But the polar vortex is a little bit more wobbly and not quite as established this early in the season. And if something goes up, it has to come down. So, but we don't know where that cold air is going to go. Maybe it's going to plop over on the other side of the hemisphere, and maybe we're going to get a big ridge and we're going to get warming. Because if someone's really cold, someone else is going to be really warm.
Mm-hmm. Well, last weekend,
and I think
we had beautiful weather here, and that's why the East Coast was so cold, and they're seeing snow deep down south, down in North Carolina. It's the reason why iguanas were falling out of trees in Florida. So,
right. I think it's just important that context gets presented when these kind of things get thrown out there, that this is something that happens. You just kind of have to watch how it all plays out, and having the ability, like we often do, of saying, there are uncertainties this far out. Things will kind of change as we get closer, and just kind of follow along as we're going through that process of kind of fine-tuning the forecast.
I'm going to ask Jessica, can you punch up the 8 to 14 day outlook?
I sure can.
I would say, because, again, we're in that 7 to 10 day range where we're looking at kind of the pattern recognition as we head towards the Thanksgiving holiday and the following weekend, which, again, right now I think we can all definitively say, yeah, we're going to be looking at a cold pattern. 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Last couple days has been showing the below average temperatures across much of the region. Again, Jarrett with the 10-day forecast, Owen with the 10-day forecast. Again, definitely showing up and seeing the colder than average temperatures in that forecast. And then if you look at the precipitation outlook too, it's wetter than average. So again, if you're talking colder than average, wetter than average in late November, early December, that means snow likely on the way for someone, somewhere, kind of in the Midwest.
Yeah, you combine the timing aspect of that. It's just important people are paying attention, because it is a busier pattern. And anytime this early in the season you're going to be talking snow, you're going to get people's attention. So hopefully everyone's just kind of watching that with holiday travel on the way back. It may snow, it may not snow where you're at, but that's kind of the key takeaway, is pay attention.
And I'll punch up here. Again, this is for Lincoln, and this is ensembles. So, again, this is, maybe not something lay folks would understand, but this is the GFS ensemble snowfall forecast. So, again, it's got 30 different members, different initial conditions in each, run there. But a lot of them starting to pick up on at least some snow late in the forecast period. Again, this would be late November, early December, and then the European model also showing similar conditions. Again, it's got 50 members there, and again, probably about 40 of them have snowfall. Again, kind of beginning to pick up late November, early December, which, again, here in Lincoln, Jarrett, Owen, I'm not 100% sure what your numbers are, but our average first snow here in Lincoln was actually a couple days ago on November 18th.
Yeah, I think ours was maybe a week ago, maybe like the 9th-ish was our average first snow. So, it's that time of the year. We already got 1 inch, roughly. I think most of our northeast Nebraska counties missed out on the snow a couple of weeks ago. But showing the ensembles there gives perspective. Like, yes, in a couple of weeks, there's a chance we could start to see some snow again. We're not posting, a single model run that shows, a blizzard, a foot of snow for anyone in our region. That's just kind of ridiculous this far out. Just look at the trends like we've been talking about.
I was going to say, I didn't even think to ask you about that, Owen, since that snow already all melted, but that was right across Siouxland, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was. Our portions of northwest Iowa got up to 4 or 5 inches of snow, while off to the west there wasn't as much. So in northeast Nebraska, sort of missed out on that system. But it was just a quick hitter, we'll call it. Feels like temperatures in the single digits for a couple of mornings, had that snow on the ground for a day or two. It was kind of a harsh reality that, winter is coming here all of a sudden. And then here we are, like I think a week later, we had record high temperatures in the 70s and 80s. I know Norfolk and Wayne both hit 81 degrees. I think it snowed on a Saturday, and that next Friday it was 81. Crazy.
Jarrett?
Reminds me of earlier in the year. Remember when we had the blizzard in March? We were like at 84, 85 earlier that week, and then the blizzard came through. Nebraska.
Didn't like that.
Just like that.
Jarrett, did you guys have any, I know you didn't have any measurable snow in Omaha. Did you guys have any flurries or anything?
Yeah, we had a few flakes that were around, just enough to register as a trace, but that was it. It was just kind of enough to kind of spook people into thinking about winter a little bit, and then we were tying our record high just a few days later.
That was nice. And I know, Travis, you guys were close to some not only record high temperatures, but all-time November record high temperatures out in the Tri-Cities.
That on Friday, Grand Island's record was really low. It was 71, and we hit 85. So, I mean, that was like crushing. It wasn't just a defeat. It was a stomping, basically. But, yeah, I think, what was it? Pretty much everybody in Nebraska that keeps track of records broke or tied a record, right?
Yeah, I think so. And what's really wild, Travis, is because, some stations, maybe their records only go back 25, 30 years. Grand Island's records go back to the 1880s, something like that.
If I remember right, North Platte's record on that date was back in 1894. So that was a 131-year-old record that was broken.
That's solid. That's solid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and
in
I
the
took
70s
advantage
and
of it.
80s.
Got the yard mowed and cleaned up and ready for the winter, too. It was nice and warm without the humidity. It's kind of nice to have. So,
I say, unfortunately, no records in the forecast for us over the course of the next week to 10 days. I'll go ahead and I'll jump in here since we'll kind of get starting to wrap up at least a little bit, but I'll jump in here and we'll go through some extended forecasts. And again, I'll just start with what we have here in Lincoln. This is meteorologist Brandon Rector's forecast from this morning. Again, we mentioned it, but clouds, fog today, patchy drizzle, cloudy, kind of gray, dreary. He's got 52. Again, I have not necessarily looked at the models this morning, but I wonder with that low cloud cover coming in at 52 might even be a little bit high. Cooler rain chance tomorrow, but that weekend looks absolutely fantastic. That next rain chance then arrives on Monday, and thankfully we don't have to show that 10-day forecast, so we don't have to get into that very long-range outlook there. But obviously you can see the trend there towards the middle of the week next week, going from the low to mid-50s Monday, Tuesday, then to the lower 40s on Wednesday. So, Jarrett, I'll punch yours up here next if you kind of walk through the Omaha 10-day.
Yeah, today we were just stuck in neutral. We're still stuck in the fog, so we're going to struggle to get to that 48. We actually took it down about 4 or 5 degrees here with where we're landing. And then tomorrow, some of the showers, especially south of I-80, looking like most of those. Otherwise cloudy, probably struggling to warm again, but really nice for the weekend. And you can kind of see how things kind of unwind a little bit on the temps as we go through next week. Watching for maybe a few spotty showers that are midweek, but doesn't really look at this point like any one days standing out as far as what we see for precip, but kind of sandwiching Thanksgiving with some precip on either side.
And Owen, I'll let you go through your 10-day here next too. I do like the look of your guys' 10-day. You got the kind of the 7 bars, and then you kind of got the 3 on the side there.
Yeah, thank you. Everyone needs to get outside this weekend. I feel like that should be a big takeaway after what we're talking about here today. You know, here in Siouxland, we've had a couple of bad weekends in a row. Not the nicest to get outside and enjoy the weather, but this is going to be the weekend to do that. Then we'll notice those changes starting around midweek next week, right into the Thanksgiving holiday, highs in the 30s, lows maybe into the teens. So I think all eyes are on that right now, and just enjoy the mild weather while you can.
All right, and Travis is pulling double duty. He's got the extended forecast here for Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney, and North Platte.
Yeah, and both of those, not a lot of big differences. Again, we have the fog this morning, of course, here, and so it's probably, I think our sun might be done until maybe the end of the day. We might get a little sunshine late, but not much with those upper-level clouds coming from the south. So, yeah, that 53 is, I'm a little iffy on that, too, if we even get to 50 at this point here. Rain comes in after midnight, continues tomorrow, clears out by the evening hours. Cool day. Weekend looks wonderful. I don't know if you guys have checked the forecast there, by the way, in State College, Pennsylvania, for Husker fans out there. It looks kind of like what we had a USC game a couple of weeks ago. Cold but quiet. There's no major weather concerns there. I think 30s with no wind and clear skies there. So, and then you see more rain coming again. It's just a little sooner in North Platte. So again, it's evening chances, but then picking up later in the night, continuing into the following day. Monday still a mild air mass despite the rain around, so no concerns about snow. And then a cold front will bring some wind on Tuesday, and we start to see those temperatures trend downward. For now, I've kept things dry for Tuesday and Wednesday, and kind of looking at some of the new model runs that are just starting to come out. I've been kind of watching that Thanksgiving and Friday time frame to see if will we see any moisture or not. Maybe they're starting to back off on it as well, so maybe we can stay dry for Thanksgiving, which would be good. We'll see. That's still a little up in the air, but I'm hoping anyway that it stays dry during that time, and then we of course watch what happens next weekend.
I was going to say, I think I would prefer a colder Thanksgiving versus a warmer Thanksgiving. I'd like your guys
to put the leftovers outside.
You can, or you could just put the case of beer out on the front porch and it keeps it cold.
Take a nap.
Well, and I feel like it was a couple years ago we had like 70s on Thanksgiving Day, and it was just I didn't like it. It was too warm. So
yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah. Owen, what are you?
Thanksgiving and especially Christmas. No, yeah, bring on the cold weather. It's November, December for a reason. It's supposed to be cold. I need my winter jacket, hat, and gloves on during the holidays, not just a sweater.
Break out the Gore-Tex, right?
There you go.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of ground, but I think we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up for today. Jessica, is there anything that you think I'm missing or that we're missing?
No, not really. I was just going to say that my parents rely on me very heavily for the forecast and putting up the Christmas lights, and I told them to do it last weekend because it was really nice. My dad said, no, we're going to push it off to this weekend, and I think he looked out.
He did
one more
out.
Weekend, but I don't think we're going to be as nice as this next weekend for putting up Christmas lights.
Also, I'll bring up, too, I want to say I really appreciated the thunderstorms that we had Tuesday night. Travis, I don't think you guys got any out there.
It was
Owen,
east,
did you have
just
any?
East of us.
Just east of you, Owen?
Just off to our south and east mostly.
So it was just us, Jared. We got to enjoy the November rumbles of thunder.
And a severe thunderstorm warning.
And a severe thunderstorm warning.
Goodness.
Yeah, had a little bit of dime-sized hail that went through the Bellevue area. That was a little crazy, but keep us on his toes.
I say I got to experience keeping my windows open and listening to the thunder while also being under my heated blanket, which I didn't know was two things that really go well together. So that was fun. That was fun. So, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll leave it at that, guys. I appreciate your guys' time today. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching, again, kind of Nebraska Weather Roundtable, kind of just talking about headlines and stuff like that. So we'll do it again soon. I'm not sure when. We're still trying to figure it all out, but we'll do it again soon. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you next time.